Hello there Retromaniacs, this is Andy from Retro Asylum. I'm back again with another video review, and the game I'll be playing today is one of the first games I actually had on my Sega Megadrive, and that game is The Revenge of Shinobi. Now, I'm a huge Shinobi fan. I love the arcade game, played the Sega Master System version 2 bits, didn't think too much of the other 8-bit conversions, but so when I got this I had really high hopes. And I've got to admit, I was a little bit disappointed when I first got it. Then, because the game cost me quite a bit of money when I first got it, about £30–40, I kept on playing it. And then I looked past my... it was like a stigma I had because of the original Shinobi game. I just liked the characters, I liked the music, I liked the layout. And this took me a while to get used to, you know, the whole music and everything. And then the more and more I played it, the more I got into it, and it's one of my favourite games. I wouldn't say it's my top 20, but it's definitely one of my favourite games, definitely somewhere there in the top 30 somewhere. Now, what I love about this, the first level is a nice introduction to the way this game works. It sort of does feel a little bit like the first level of Shinobi, but what really sets this game apart, I think, is the music. The music is beautiful. Yeah, I think it's composed by the same guy that done the Streets of Rage music. Now, I've got to be honest guys, I don't find it quite as good as music from Streets of Rage, but it's still pretty damn good. Now, I know Mr. Dean Swain, you know, fellow podcast host from Retro Asylum, he doesn't think too much of this game. And again, I remember playing this back in the day. Like I said, it took me a while to get into it. But, you know, after a good couple of hours playing it, I really got into it. And recently, I picked this game up on a car boot sale and started playing it again on my original Sega Mega Drive. And I tell you what, there's nothing that can quite beat that feeling of actually watching the game on a CRTV, the music coming out that TV. I mean, for the purpose of this video, I'm doing this on my laptop, so the audio and visual quality isn't the greatest. But playing this through a CRT TV is just amazing. I love it. I think it's visually beautiful. The music sounds amazing. And even the things like the sound effects. Now, the graphics may look a little bit basic, but I think they work, you know, they work really, really well. I wouldn't say this is quite as good as Shinobi 3. I think Shinobi 3 really does, you know, basically top this in loads of different ways, but you know, that's understandable since the game came out a few good years later. But I do love this game, and what made me want to play this game, apart from just picking it up in car boot sale, was that some of the bosses. So the version I'm playing here is the Japanese version, and you've got the famous bosses. You've got Spider-Man, you've got Batman, you've got Godzilla, and all of those were edited out of, I think, the UK version. And back in the day, I was never really that good at it, really. I'd only ever played like the first 2–3 levels. Now, believe it or not, guys, I've actually finished this game recently. I played it on my PSP, and it took me a while, you know, because like when I used to commute to work from, you know, to and forth from Essex, I really got into this game. But because I'm playing it on emulation on my laptop, unfortunately, I've got a rubbish controller on my laptop, so I'm blaming it on that anyway. But yeah, I have finished this game, and it's interesting seeing some of the later levels when you do fight against Spider-Man, when you do fight against Batman, and Godzilla as well. I actually found the Godzilla boss pretty easy compared to some of the earlier bosses. Like the first boss on this level, I find is probably one of the hardest actually. And I think that's what sort of stopped me playing this game back in the day as much as I should have done. Is that I found the first level a bit of a pain, and I found some of the later bosses pretty easy actually. Now, just like in the original Shinobi, you've got your magic, you can sort of summon up. And this, what I've got here, basically just puts this electric force field around you, so it makes you impervious to things. But again, the music is really, really catchy. Again, not quite as good as Streets of Rage 2, but that's completely different sort of soundtrack. This is more like ninja music, if that makes any sense. Now, I will be doing loads more videos, guys. Like I said before, some of you may know that half the time now I'm living in London. The rest of the time I'm living up in Yorkshire. So when I'm in London, I'll be doing loads of video reviews, working on stuff for the retroasylum.com site. And when I'm up in Yorkshire, I'll just be spending it with my family. But yeah, a few other things I want to mention. We had Retromania 2 not too long ago, and it was absolutely fantastic. We had a great turnout, met loads of wonderful, amazing people, and hopefully next year there will be a Retromania 3 which will be even bigger, and if anything, it'll be 2 days. But yeah, this game, I really like it. It's one of my favourite games. Somewhere down the line, me and Dina, we're going to be doing a Sega podcast, and I'm sure this is going to be up there. Me and Dina are going to be recording an episode of the podcast, which is the best of Sega, basically. And Sega was so influential when it came to games and arcade things. You know, they really just did amazing. But that's me dead. See you guys next time. Goodbye.